Okay, I just want to check closed caption. Why is okay, perfect. And I do want to check one other thing. Let's see if I write something here. Can I hear it? I cannot hear chat. Why I can't hear chat? I'm gonna try to fix one other thing.
Battery 99%.
Okay, so the glass is connected. There we go. Chat works. And I'm gonna try on Rumble. Rumble chat. Rumble chat works as well. Awesome. Great. So I should be good now. I have chat working on most of the things that I needed to work on. And let's get out there and get the chickens. Get the chickens fed. So how is everyone today? Oh, it's a day. Let's just say it's a day. Oh, wow. I've got a lot more followers than I in the last couple days, which is cool. Okay. I think I'm good with what I need to do. I think we're good. That was... Okay, so I can hear most of chat, which is good, guys. AJ, J-Star, awesome. How are you? Thanks for chatting. Thanks for saying something. It makes it easier for me to know that we are good to go. Okay, I think we're good. So let's go get my gloves. Let's go get the chickens fed. And today we're going to talk about relations today. We're going to talk about it in a lot of different ways. I've been thinking a lot about this, so that's why I think it's a subject that we need to have a conversation about, because there's a lot of you guys out there that are making what I'm going to call poor decisions. And I want to help you guys. I want to help you guys out there, the ones that are making poor decisions. I want to help you guys make less poor decisions. So my allergies are acting up today, hence the reason I've got my nose thing on. So current temperature it is 62 degrees here on the mountain today. It's very gray, very, very gray day. Just like I'm getting some gray, which just means vitamins, just need to get more healthier. So let's peek up at the sky so you guys can see. Feels like it's gonna rain. Gray day, windy, we say it's 62. So Anyway, so today we're going to talk about relationships. One of the things I have to say is because I try to live everything with my life through a permaculture lens. So, and the fundamental foundation of it, and there's a lot more than just the foundation, but the fundamental foundation is people care, earth care, fair share. Look at the bees doing their bee thing. So how, you're going to think, well, Doc, how do you have a foundation? When your foundation is permaculture, how do you go about talking about relationships in that care? So how does that work, you may ask? So let's first start off with when I say people care. So that means that you need to be thinking about, I would say personally, you need to think about your partner more than you think about yourself, but not everyone does that all the time. You know, sometimes we need, let's be real, sometimes we're just not going to do that, even though it's what we should do. Just a lot of times we're just not going to. The light's going to be kind of annoying. I guess we're just going to have to deal with the annoying light. Just a little better spots. Okay. So, you need to be thinking about, it's so easy for us to think about ourselves all the time.
Visit your local Boost mobile store.
I'm going to turn, maybe I won't get copyright striked if I turn the music down on YouTube. So, and we're all guilty of it, is that we think about what we want to eat. We think about, you know, how we're feeling that day. And we think about, we spend a lot of time just thinking about ourselves. And rightfully so. It's good to think about yourselves. You do need to make sure you have your house in line before you can go help someone else's line. But when it comes to our partner, when it comes to, you know, feminism gets it wrong and the manosphere gets it wrong. Both of them places get it completely wrong. As a good man, and again, I'm firm by this. As a good man, our purpose is to build a strong container, a strong place for the feminine energy in our life, and that's usually our wives, girlfriends, but it could be other things, and it could be other feminine energy in our lives too. But we have to build a strong container for the feminine energy in our life. Now, some of you are going to be like, I don't know what that means. That sounds like woo-woo bullshit, crazy talk, Justin. And well, part of it is, but what it also means is what a container is. Let's break this down. A container is something to store and to carry their energy. Feminine energy, and I see it all the time, and men have feminine energy. Feminine energy isn't just women. Feminine energy is a level, feminine energy is that compassion that you have. It's that caring, and it's the caring, not protecting. Because there is a difference between caring and protecting. A lot of times we confuse the two, but there is a difference between caring and protecting. So caring is where you see something that's dying and you want to hold it, or you see something that's injured and you want to fix it, or you see something that is lost or sad and you want to make sure that it's back to where it needs to be. That's caring. Protecting is you see an animal that's fallen out of a tree, and you have to pick it up and put it back into its nest because you know that it's not going to, you know it's not going to survive if you don't do something. So protecting is the action, is knowing that you actually have to do something. That's the protection. Caring is where caring can mean you want somebody else to do something. You might not actually do the action, but an action needs to be done, and you kind of want someone else to do it. So that's kind of the fundamental difference between caring and protecting. Now, again, there's a lot of women that have the protective instinct as well, as long as the caring, and the protecting is a masculine energy. It's the force of doing. So now that we've broken down the idea between the feminine energy the feminine caring and the masculine protecting. What the container is the container is designed to protect. That allows that feminine energy to be free and to problem solve and figure out and to help come up with ideas on how to actually properly care for something. Because sometimes protecting isn't necessarily the best way to care for something. You know, like, I'll give an example. So you see a hurt animal, and you want to, and your instinct is you want to make the animal not in pain anymore, and you want to, you know, make it happy, and you want to fix it. But realistically, it might be something like it's just not possible. It's not fixable. So a caring person is going to put the animal in some place nice and safe. It's going to protect it, and it's going to let it slowly die. And it's probably going to be in a lot of pain. But the caring thing, it's caring because it's getting it out of its environment, and it's caring. Where the protector, where in that protector energy is going to know, you know what, that animal is just not going to make it. It's the most humane, the most kind way to protect its soul and its future is to let it transfer on to the next adventure. And so that is another difference between the caring and protecting. And I know that kind of sounds, to a lot of people, that might sound backwards. Well, how do you protect something if you are taking its life energy away? And you're protecting its dignity, and you're protecting everything about it. You're giving it, you're caring, you're protecting it so it doesn't have to be in pain. You actually understand things. And that's where the difference between logic and emotion comes from. And that's why, you know, logic is more of a masculine energy, and feminine and creativity and caring is more of a feminine energy. So back to the container, because I am going off track here. So back to the container. As a man, you're supposed to create a container. And a lot of men, I know there's a lot of men out there that are just like, I'm not ready yet, or I'm broke and need to fix myself, or I don't have enough. And that's fine to spend a few minutes, to spend a little bit of time fixing yourself, spending a little bit of time like, you know what, I'm not exactly where I need to be. Personally, that's a young man. That's a young man's privilege. If you are a young man and you are in your 20s, you can think about stuff like that. You can think about bettering yourself. You can think about, how you're going to make things, how you are going to be a better version of yourself. If you are a older gentleman, and I'm saying older as in like you're in your 30s now. If you are 30s or older and you are saying that you need to fix yourself, it better be because you've just had a major family loss. Maybe you've lost, a loved one, and you just don't feel like you are in the right place. Maybe you've just been in a long-term relationship, and that long-term relationship failed. And you just don't. Both of those things take a little while for men to emotionally get ready to handle. So maybe in those situations, I'm okay with it taking a little bit of time. But honestly, a little bit of time is not years and years and years. A little bit of time is a couple months, doing the right thing, eating well, cleaning your room. And cleaning your room isn't just cleaning your room, it's cleaning, it's making your environment that you live in a healthy, friendly environment for you, and bringing another person in. And also mentally being able to say that you are going to be tough enough to deal with it. But I see a lot of men, and some of them are my friends, and I'm not, calling anybody out on name, and this isn't pointing at any particular person in general. This is just mentioning that I just see it in a lot of men, old men and young men, is that they're just like, I gotta have some me time, and I've got to build and make myself better so that I'm better for my partner. The truth is at a particular stage in life, that's where the feminine energy is very important, because that feminine energy can help you become a better version of yourself. That's why relationships are important. That's why I actually think men and women shouldn't actually be very long, should not exist very long, not in a relationship. Now, the relationship, I'm not even saying the relationship has to be, a sexual relationship. If you're going to be with another person, then the both of you are going to have companionship, and you're going to be able to learn each other's energies together, and that's what you want for a while, and there's no sexual intimacy involved in that, no problem with that. But you need feminine energy. Men need feminine energy around. So if you don't have a mother, a sister, a daughter, you need to find a way to get some additional feminine energy in your life, because if you just allow that masculine energy to fester, because there's not that many men that know how to handle their feminine energy. And if they have feminine energy and they think they can handle it without a female, sometimes they become too much of a pussy. And what I mean by that is they become too weak. They become too... they don't understand that there is always a balance between feminine energy and masculine energy in a person, and it's never just going to be all one. And this is culturally, and this is... The manosphere says that women are a particular way. And yes, some young women are a particular way, and there's going to be outliers of everything. There's some women that are just absolutely insanely crazy, But when you find balance, and that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about balance. We're trying to find balance in most people's lives. Okay, hold on. Fed. We're trying to find balance in the lives of ourselves and the partnership that we choose to have. The other thing is when it comes to big decisions in life, like, I think that you and your partner, whoever that is, you and your partner, even maybe you and your family, because maybe you have more of a family unit, because sometimes not everything is just two people. Sometimes there's a family involved. Like in my situation, my little brother, I will always be having to take care of him. Me and my sister, when my parents are gone, will always be taking care of my brother. He's not someone that's going to be able to function and live on his own. So that means that somebody will always be taking care of him. So that means that there's always some level of responsibility with that. So, not that his input plays a role in decisions that I have to make. How about that? It's probably the easiest way to refer to that. His input plays a role in decisions that I have to make every day. So, sorry, I'm slowing down here for a second because I want to make sure I don't forget anyone. Okay, so everybody in here is fed. I just have those few guys outside. And we're good. I need to put some corn down. So the next thing so once you create that container and you have a place for divine feminine to be the divine feminine, because that's what we ultimately want. We want divine feminine, we want divine masculine to be what it's supposed to be, to function in its glory. Because when you have divine feminine and when you have divine masculine, you don't have to worry about toxic femininity or toxic masculinity, because they are balancing each other out and they're working together as they're supposed to work. Because again, guys, your energy, you are not 100% divine feminine or divine masculine. You have a balance between the both, and that's how that helps you understand where the other energy is coming from. So it's not a weakness. it's a better understanding. I would say when you can be more middle of the road, when you can have more of both, and you can help, that means that gives you the flexibility of your partner. If your partner is not as balanced as you are, that gives you the ability to be able to fill in the gaps. So I say that most men should figure out how to be as balanced in their masculine and feminine energy, because women, it's harder for women to find that middle of the road balance. And just the reason for that is because women have so many more responsibilities in life when it comes to like childcare, like birthing a baby, where we don't have the same level of responsibility when it comes to that. So us being able to be more balanced, which means that if a woman gets too masculine in a situation, we can then bring in the feminine and slow her down. Or if a woman is too feminine in a situation, we can bring in the masculine, rein her under control, and keep her in a comfort level. So how do you do this as a man? So one of the ways you do this as a man is you actually have to listen. So number one is listen. This is where it goes back to permaculture. It's that it's the observation and the listen. You need to listen to your body, because your body's going to tell you. Your body actually knows a whole lot of what's going on in a lot of situations, even if you're dumb and clueless. So your body is telling you a lot of things, because when you were raised, you learned how to interact with other humans. So you got to listen to your own body. You've got to listen to what the woman is saying, because a woman, they say a lot of stuff. They're never usually, can't say never, they're rarely straight and to the point. They're usually telling you a circle way around it. And that's just a cultural thing. It's also a way to make sure that they can test areas, because for a long time, women need to make sure that they get along with other women, because women are brutal when it comes to talking about women in women groups. So you need to listen to your body, listen to what's happening in your head, and listen to what the woman is saying. Then you need to observe. You need to observe what your body is doing. Like, what are you doing? Like, why is your body doing this? You need to understand. Then you need to observe what the woman is doing. How is she acting? And then you need to look at the third party. You need to take a step out from that, and you need to look down upon the situation and look at how the two of you are interacting, and how the two of you are interacting and how that's looking, and try to look at as a third party observer. And I know that's hard for a lot of folks. We don't spend a lot of time doing third party analysis of ourselves, but you want to try. So now for most people, that's the best you're ever going to get, because humans in general have a tough time having any more than 3 people in their mind at any given point. So humans we can have about 150, we can easily recognize about 150 people. We have about 3 to 5, some people are blessed with more than that, but 3 to 5 close friends / family that you just really feel connected with. And then about 15 people that are your like friend group. And then acquaintances go up from there all the way up to about 150. And 150 is about how many faces and people you can regularly recognize and know a lot about. But when it comes to thinking about people in your head, when they're living in your head, you're always in your head. So you're always living in your head. If you're having a conversation with another person, that person that you're having a conversation with is normally in your head too. So that's 2 people. Then if the 2 of you are not talking about each other, so if you're not talking about you or you're not talking about them, then you're talking about a third person. And so that third person is in your head too, because you have to think about that third person. So that's 3 people. For most people, that is their max of what they can deal with. Advanced people in this, I shouldn't say advanced humans, advanced people that are really good can go up to 5, but usually not any more than 5, and then details and stuff just starts getting not as useful. So I can comfortably do 4. I can do 5 in some situations, but sometimes 5 can be rather difficult for me. So, but I love people I love figuring out all this kind of stuff. So that's where that comes from. So, what does that mean? Well, that means that you need to recognize that when you and your partner are talking about things, you need to understand that if you're talking about her, you, and a third person, she needs to also be talking about herself, you, and that same third person. Because if you add, if she's talking about another person, that's 3 for her, but it's 4 for the group. And for the group, that can be very, very difficult. Why is this important? Is because if she's talking about, you might hear a woman say, you never listen to me talk about my family or things of that sort. And part of the reason is because, man, we are thinking about ourselves. We are thinking about the woman. And sometimes we're thinking about something else. And that something else could be a car. It could be, and that involves, when we're thinking about other things that we're thinking about, that means that there's usually other people involved, because it's usually just not the two of us, you and your partner. So you're already thinking about 3 things. So when she says things such as bringing up things about work or her family, a lot of men, we say we got one-track minds, but a lot of men are just confused because that brings in a 4th person to think about. And so that's where it goes back to, we need to listen. You need to listen to what a woman's talking about. If she's talking about something at work, or she's talking about something in her life, it might be gossip, and you can dislike gossip all you want, and a lot of humans dislike gossip and wish it didn't exist. The truth is gossip is just something that humans have done. It's something that humans always do. Gossip is a way of us learning lessons and knowing how we can interact with other people in our society, or hearing stories about other people, knowing if we want to interact with those particular people or not. So what gossip does is gossip gives us an inside track of the third person experience to know if that is somebody that we would like to interact with or not. I need to empty that out. It's really dirty. So after you listen to yourself, your body, the world around you. Now, hold on, I'm gonna pause here for just a second because I did think of something else. So let's say that you are talking your significant other and she wants to tell you a story, and you do not have the bandwidth to be able to listen to that story. You should, in the most respectfully way possible, you should tell your partner that your brain is just going crazy, that you're thinking about a lot of stuff, and that it's really hard for you right now. It's really hard for you right now to focus on what she's saying, and that you're wondering if you can have this conversation in the very near future, if you can just give yourself a little bit of time to rebalance and stop thinking about what you're thinking about, so that you can. Now, some women are going to totally understand that, and they're going to be respectful that you said something. Other women are not. That's your individual woman. Same thing's going to happen. Same thing's going to happen with men when it comes to women wanting to talk about gossip. Some men are just going to be like, no, I don't want to hear anything about it. Stop talking about this. Stop being so petty. When the truth is the woman needs to talk about it because it's on her brain, and sometimes to feel like they need to run through the cycle so that they can say that they cared for that person. They can let that care cycle. So a good analogy, so that you can, some of you that may be confused with what I'm talking about, a good analogy all of this is sometimes you get that song stuck in your head and you need to listen to the last few words of that song to get it unstuck. There are times that a woman just needs to talk something out just so she can get it unstuck from her brain. So there's tons of advice I can give women in this scenario too. But I am not a woman, and so I don't know some stuff. I only know how to explain it in some ways. All I know is a lot of the crap that you're told in feminism is bullshit. Men and women are equal but completely different. So, and I don't know how to explain that in any way right now, but just understand that men and women are equal but completely different. And that's not just, woo-woo bullshit. Women are just better at some things, men are better at other things. And that can also be completely individualized. So some women are better and some men are better. So the other thing is when you have a partner, you both need to be extremely flexible, and flexible in ways that is actually, I think it's hard for humans to be as flexible as you need to be. I think the only time that humans really understand how to be as flexible as what I'm about to describe is when children are involved. And children pretty much force you to be flexible because you have a being that you are responsible for taking care of. But when you have a partner, it almost needs to be viewed exactly the same way. Because now, I'm going to tell you right now, I am not the best at what the advice I'm about to give. I am absolutely flawed in my ability to have the level of compassion and understanding and patience that I should when it comes to Lisa. But I do my very best. And actually all I'm asking the men here, and actually any women that's listened to, all I ask you is to do your very best with your compassion, your patience, and your understanding that that other person thinks nothing like you. Whatever you think you're thinking, that person's not thinking anything like that. Don't ever assume that someone thinks the same as you. You might be on similar wavelengths. You might be very close, but they don't think. There's something that you think. There's something that you think that feels normal, commonplace, easy for you, that is hard for your partner. And that's good advice for any human interaction that you have with another person, is you might think that person, you and that person think the same way, when the truth is you guys just share certain ideals. You don't actually have as much in common as you think. Because you've not lived their life. You've not played that game. You don't know what the tutorial level was like. So, you don't know a lot of stuff. You only know what they're willing to share and what they're willing to tell you. And I will tell you that a lot of people, they don't even think about what they don't tell other people. And some stuff we just don't want to know. Like, let's just be honest, there's stuff that you just don't want to know about your partner. It's not beneficial, it's not going to help you, it's not going to make anything easier, it's not going to make your relationship better. So you just don't want to know. And that's fine. It's not that it's a secret, it's not even that you need to know. It's just, it doesn't. Why try to know something that's not necessarily going to benefit you? If it's not going to build the two of you stronger together, then no reason of knowing it. Now, if it's something so catastrophic that it would end your relationship and it would make you think twice, then that is something that is worth knowing. But you probably have already, if it's something that catastrophic, you've probably figured it out early doors. So how can you do this? How can you, everything that I'm saying right now, how can you do this as a man? Because that's the advice I'm going to give you right now. I'm going to give young men advice. So first off, get in a relationship. If you don't want the relationship to be a sexual relationship with a female, then be very clear. Just say, you know what, we're just friends, and you never cross the line, and don't ever let them cross the line. Just have a, just have a friend that is a chick that you can talk to about stuff. I don't believe that bullshit. I don't believe that bullshit that men and women can't be friends. I've heard about that a lot. Ex-lovers have a tougher time being friends. I'll agree with that. But men and women can absolutely be friends. You have a mom, you have a sister, you have aunts, you have nieces. Men and women can be friends. You just have to know where your boundaries are, and you have to be respectful of those boundaries. And those boundaries are your boundaries, their partner's boundaries, and your partner's boundaries. Those are the 4 boundaries. Maybe if they have kids, then there's some other boundaries. I'm not saying it's easy for men and women to be friends. I'm just saying men and women can be friends. That's the people that say they can't are too much like Freud. They believe in that. They believe in. They just don't understand. They're not human enough yet. You haven't fixed yourself yet. You haven't cleaned your room. You haven't cleaned your room. So, go clean your room. Anyways, get in a relationship. So, and some of you are like, Doc, that's a lot easier said than done. No, it's not. It's not hard. It's not that hard. There are plenty of people that need and desire companionship. Now, over time, if you decide to, familiarity makes a heart fonder, just as distance makes a heart fonder. But, the more you hang out with people, that's why a lot of people have relationships. It used to be the people you knew at your church. It used to be the people that were friends of your siblings, people you used to go to school with, coworkers, people that you saw every day. That used to be who we would partner up with. And part of it is just because you already had something in common and you saw that person on a regular basis. And actually, I think that's how it should be, especially since online dating is so broken compared to what it used to be. Online dating used to work, and now it's just algorithm. Now you're just a number to make money for a particular group. So get in a relationship. Even if you're just companions, someone to go hiking with, someone to, and an opposite sex relationship. Unless you're gay, then you can get in the same sex relationship. But I don't. I'm trying to talk to the folks in situations that I can give general sweeping advice for, and I can't give general sweeping advice for same-sex relationships. I can give individual advice, and I can talk to you guys individually because I need to know who's got the majority of the masculine energy and who's got the more majority of the feminine energy, because that's how your relationship is going to survive, is because one of you is going to fill the role of those things. But I digress because it's easy for me to digress down different paths. So first thing, get in a relationship and a companionship. Let's start off with calling it a companionship. Get in a companionship with someone of the opposite sex. So, even if it's just wingman services, wing woman, wing man, even if the two of you are never going to date. And then I want you to have honest conversations with that individual person that you're in a companionship with. Honest conversations. So, men need to talk about their feelings. but they need to talk about their feelings by not being vulnerable. Because you can talk about being sad. You can talk about being sad that your favorite dog died. You can talk about being sad that you can talk about how the world feels crazy and you need to plan more, and that you're nervous that you need to do a little bit more in the world. But what you have to do is to make sure you keep the masculine, you have to have a plan. You have to be able to know how you're going to make a container for those around you, because that is your number one job. Your number one job is to build a container, a safe place, a safe space for those with the feminine energy around you, or those that need the little extra. And the woman's job is to make it easier for you to do that. Now, she could help you financially. That's why this breadwinning crap, that's by the way, guys, the man being the breadwinner, that made sense. That made sense in the Industrial Revolution. It never made sense outside of the Industrial Revolution. Let me explain to you. So if you're on a farm and you and your family don't ever leave your farm, the money is completely shared. Everything that you guys are doing together is a shared thing, because there was no outside influence. The government wasn't outside being involved at all. It was just it was your community and your family. So, the woman had her responsibilities to make sure that the finances of the farm functioned, and the man had their responsibilities to make sure that function of the farm happened. And that's how we function for a very, very long time, as a partnership, as a teamwork. Even in the marriages that weren't based on marriage, that weren't based on love, that were just based off of other purposes. There was a direct role for the man and the woman, and it wasn't this breadwinning type thing. It wasn't the breadwinner. It was the bread maker, and the bread maker was who was more skilled in the house at that. And a lot of times maybe it was done together as a team. So this whole men need to make more money than women bullshit is the same thing with the De Beers diamonds. The diamonds are rare. It's not how it works. It's just how it's that brainwashing. It's that brainwashing that they have. I also want to throw in another thing, that's some brainwashing out there that I see a lot being spread. And I'm going to give an example in the manosphere, and I'm going to give example in the modern feminism. This whole concept that you can do things on your own, that you can be a strong, powerful, boss bitch, or that you can be, a lone wolf living out in the woods, living all that kind of stuff. Both of those are absolute, utter bullshit. They're both bullshit. They're both not true. I want you to think about this right now. Most everything around you, I want you to stop and look around you and realize that you didn't build any of that. Somebody else built everything around you. The house you live in, somebody else built it. Okay, the scooper that I'm using to make my job easier, somebody made this. Not only someone made this, someone designed it. Then someone made it. Then someone shipped it to me, and all the people it took for this to get to me. I didn't make this. There's a lot of shit that I can't make. And I'm skilled in a lot of stuff, and there's a lot I couldn't do it without community, without the people around me, without the folks that know more stuff than I do. I couldn't build a cell phone. You couldn't build a cell phone. You know why you couldn't build a cell phone? Because you don't know how to smelt steel and gold and copper and silver. You don't know how to do any of that. So this concept that you can do everything on your own is bullshit. If you can't do those simple things like keep yourself alive, if you don't know how to make tools to till up land, to plant seeds, to harvest those seeds, to then make fire, to build containers to do that. If you don't know how to make all the tools, how to do everything like that, then you can't do it on your own. The same way if you're a boss bitch, if there's no people around for you to boss over, you can't do it either. So there's no this concept of being a lone wolf and thinking we can do things by ourselves. That is modern day separate bullshit. We're communal animals. We are absolutely communal animals. If you don't want to say we're animals, we're communal beings. We're absolutely communal beings, and we need to be around people. We need to interact with people. This lonely epidemic is because so many people are striving to do things by themselves. Guilty, absolutely guilty. What am I doing right now? I'm doing all my chores by myself. Now, I'm doing all the chores by myself because Lisa's in the house. She's got a headache and she's not feeling well. But I'm doing the chores by myself. You know? And there's a lot of stuff I do, like trying to run my nonprofit by myself, trying to design my programs by myself, trying to, dig in my garden, taking responsibilities of things that, maybe I should ask for help with. But right now, I don't feel like I've got a strong container to be able to give out to the world, to be able to have somebody help me and be able to not be able to do it appropriately. So right now, that's my weakness. I get it. So things I'm preaching are things that I am trying to fix myself. So don't view my advice as me being perfect or me preaching. My advice is skills that I'm trying to do my own damn self. But I want you guys to stop this whole lone wolf thing. I want you to stop this whole, we belong in tribes, we belong in clans. So the nuclear family was interesting. It was an interesting experiment that they were trying. They wanted to see if they could have little families function and still be able to have all the nice things in society. And the truth is, it didn't really function. There was a lot of, while the 40s through the 60s had a lot of good things going for them, there was a lot of downfalls, and we saw the ramifications of the downfalls of the 40s through the 60s with what happened in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. And we had that generation with the latchkey kids and some of the other things that happened. And then we have now this current thing where everybody's just lost. And it all, part of it is because of the Industrial Revolution. Let's just be straight up about it. Is when we decided to turn everybody into little machines, because that's all you are. I don't know if you guys ever worked in a factory. I worked in a factory. I was a steel worker. I did that for 2 summers. My dad did that for most of his life, but I did it for 2 summers. And you are just a cog in a machine. And I understand why you want someone to be a cog in a machine, because a cog in a machine, you can get a lot of stuff accomplished. But us humans, we weren't built to be cogs in machines. That wasn't our purpose. That was never our purpose. Our purpose was to explore and to create and to modify and facilitate and to teach and to talk and to hang out and to create wonderful things. Not this fucking hustle culture bullshit that we experience right now. That's not what weren't meant to do that kind of stuff. Not at all. So I want you guys to, the main thing I want you to get out of this is start seeking out relationships. So for men, let me just explain to you, it's a numbers game. It's a damn numbers game. There's a woman out there that wants to be your partner, at least wants to be your companion. But you have to ask a lot, because a lot of them have been brainwashed. A lot of them think that they need to say no when they don't really want to say no, but they think they need to say no. And women out there, it's okay to be a little forward with some men. Some men are they don't know how to talk in those circles that you guys are awesome at talking in. So sometimes you just need to be more direct. And you need to say, hey, dude, let's go on a date. Or, hey, dude, I like you. And I'm not saying go and be a slut and saying that don't go be sluts. That's dumb. Go find meaningful relationships with other human beings. I want to show you guys this because I think it's super, super cool. Nope, that's not it. I'll show you this corn and how awesome it is. Though it's already about 5 feet tall. But I'm gonna give you the scale. Like, look at that corn compared to my hand. That's just already awesome. So this is Aztec corn. I've got a couple pieces of the Aztec corn. My late buddy Howard gave me these. And so I at least need a couple stalks to produce corn so that I can keep this corn alive in his memory. So anyways, let's go for, I got enough time. I think we'd go for a quick little walk up to the garden and around. So I got everybody fed and watered. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Okay, so before I got preoccupied with the corn, guys, just start talking to girls. You're gonna have a lot of bitches. You're gonna have a lot of girls that are just confused, that don't know what they do, and you're gonna have a lot of girls that don't understand your value. And especially depending on what culture you're living in, it's gonna be harder. Thank you, Just Rev, for the 100 gold pills. Oh, I'm sorry that you were in the hospital. I hope you're feeling better. Spending any time in the hospital, any time in the hospital, absolutely sucks. I absolutely despise being in the hospital. It's probably one of my least favorite places to be. It's not even a place I really even like visiting. Even like visiting folks. But that's another reminder. That's another reason why you just need to go out there and you need to find yourself a companion. Like I said, a partner, companion, I don't really care. You just need to find someone of the opposite sex that you can interact with on a regular basis. Again, it can just be a best friend. This doesn't have to, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. We're just trying to we're trying to solve this loneliness epidemic. We're trying to get people reconnected to understand how. Because if we don't continue this, thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow. So, we were saying, is having a companion. And again, for men, it's just going out there and playing a numbers game, talking to people. Again, so I want to make sure we understand this. I want to make it very clear to all because there's a lot of young men out there, there's a lot of other men out there, there's a lot of men that's just been jaded for so long. I'm not saying you're going out to find some chicks so that you can bang some chicks. I'm saying you're going to find someone that you want to spend some time with. Someone that you can build a relationship with. Companionship, even if that companionship is just so you can understand the opposite sex better, and two of you are going to be nothing more than friends. That's what I'm saying. Because we need to solve this loneliness epidemic. And the way we do that is interacting with each other. Now, that also being said, if you have a circle of friends and you know of a lonely girl and a lonely guy, do some things to get them to hang out with the four of you. Invite them along. Play that blind date crap. You don't even have to call it a blind date. You don't even have to tell them. You don't even have to tell them that you are doing this on purpose. Don't set it up as a date because pressure in that. People dork out. Women think that they need to act a particular way. Men think that they need to act a particular way. Just bring them along. And who knows? Like, we used to do that a lot too. Another thing, we got so selfish. From like I was saying in the very, very beginning, we got so selfish and we started only thinking about ourselves and we forgot to be observant and think about the rest of the things out there in the world. And that's where, again, you need to observe the beautiful world that we live in and the beautiful people. So here is some of my, what you guys doing on here? I'll hang out on my onions. So these are my onion. These are garlic, and these are bulbets. And I didn't cut the onions and the garlic in time, so I'm just going to let them do their ball bet thing. Oh, I planted some plants yesterday, and I totally forgot. I wonder how they're doing over here. Most of them are doing fine. Yeah. Most of what I planted yesterday is doing just fine. I think this is lovage. I don't remember exactly what I planted. And why did I plant it yesterday? Because I had some in the house. Okay. Okay, so we're going to start walking back because I'm noticing that the camera life, my phone life, is starting to get low. And so I thought we can finish this conversation. So if you're a woman out there and you have some single girlfriends, you need to talk to your single guy friends, because most of you have single guy friends, and you need to not play matchmaker. Just set up events for people to hang out together. And also, if you don't, let's just say you're just like, Doc, I don't really have any friends. I'm kind of a loser. I don't know what to do. Find a hobby that you have, or something you like doing. I don't even care if it's video games, Legos, going hiking, taking photographs, cooking. Whatever hobby you have, there are places that you can go. You can get on, meet up. You can go to the library. You can find something in your community. If I can find something in my community to do, go to that community and go to the events. Go to them a couple times, because maybe the first time not everybody typically shows up, but go to them a couple times. That's for men and women, and show up. And like, what you're going to see is you're going to befriend someone in that class. Just be smiley and happy and talkative, and you'll befriend someone in that class. So that's probably the easiest, the simplest way to handle a lot of stuff, is to just go and do something. Get out there, take a risk. Again, don't initially start any of this that you need to date. Like I said, companionship first, relationship second. And also, what I said before, and this is to all my friends that are men out there, all of my friends that are men, stop thinking you need to keep bettering yourself. Doesn't matter your job. It doesn't matter what your body looks like. It doesn't matter any of those. If you find a good, solid girl and a partner, she's gonna be your supporting staff, and she's gonna help you achieve those goals more and easier. So you have a partner, she's gonna help you make good decisions on what kind of job you should stick with and how you should stay with that job. If you've got if you're trying to work out, she might be there to help, cheer you up, be your cheerleader. If you're trying to, build an empire, she can be the queen of that empire to help you achieve awesomeness and achieve great things. Because that's what a partnership is. That's why it's good to have two people. That's, again, why this lone wolf bullshit, this cat lady bullshit, is exactly that. It takes a tribe. It takes a clan. It takes a community. I'm giving all this advice because I want to see everybody succeed. I also am trying to build my own community here in southern West Virginia. I'm trying to find people that will jive with what we want to get done. And so we can work together and we can say, screw the rest of the world. And we can flip the paradigm and create something as magical and pretty awesome. So, anyways, friends, we're going to head back to the house. What's up, Jill? I'm just finished. I fed everyone and I'm just finished streaming. What are you doing?
Sitting in Nashville.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So anyways, friends, thanks for hanging out. I know a handful of you guys came in. Rev Jim, hope you're out of the hospital, and I hope you're feeling better. And put some good juju for you. I'll put some good energy. Those of you that are into prayer, get some good prayer for all of our fellow friends. They are happy, healthy, and recover quickly. And whatever ailment they had, it goes away and doesn't affect them again. So, but yeah, guys, a little different. I'm gonna tell me what you guys think about this. Comment below if you like this kind of stuff, if you want me to talk about more of this kind of stuff when I'm feeding the chickens. If you'd rather just talk about chicken stuff or homesteading or farming stuff, let me know that too. So just trying to figure some stuff out in different ways. So anyways, friends, it's Doc. I hope you guys have a wonderful, beautiful rest of the day, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Remember, guys, to live slowly, love deeply, and fear nothing. Adios.